Good day and welcome to Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Mafokate and I'm chilling with Molatelo Bossman. How's Molatelo? Okay.
Okay.
Yo, I've been looking for you.
I'm here now.
Weeks and weeks. How's the movie doing? The documentary? What do you call it?
6 Kings and 6 Queens.
Yeah, but is it a movie or documentary or is it both?
Well, let's call it a documentary film.
Documentary film.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to be discussing today.
The film part is very important. The film part is important because a lot of us think, film is just fiction. And when we make documentaries, we don't have to apply the principles of filmmaking. And it's very important.
It's very important.
We need to have that 3-act structure, so it's a film.
I call it a film because I was inspired by Pele's films, Muhammad Ali's films, but come to think of it, when you look at them, they're actually documentaries in a way.
Yes, but still film, because the art of filmmaking is being applied there.
You see, I just learned something today.
Right.
How are you though?
I'm good, and how are you?
Fine, finally.
Yeah,
you made it to our studios.
100%.
To the people out there that don't know who Molatelo is, how would you describe her? Who is she?
Molatelo Bossman is a young lady, only 50 years of age. I come from a village, a remote village in Modjadji Kingdom called Block 5. Others call it Mabepilong. That's where I was born and bred. I went to primary school there. I went to high school. My village didn't have high school, so we had to walk.
Shema, are you one of those that have traveled for kilometers to school?
Thank you very much. Not just to go to school and come back, but also as you go to school, you must carry a water gallon with you. I don't know what you call it, skupu-kupu, 25 liters. Skupu sa 25 liters.
Lisbita lona skupu-kupu.
Kigubu-gubu.
Oh, kigubu. Kigubu.
Why am I trying to speak Swahili when I can just jump to my language? Right, yeah. So as I walk to school, because we pass a river before going to the next village, so I must carry that 25-liter container with me, because when I come back, I must then, carry water so that I don't have to go home and come back. So I went to high school. I passed my matric in 1993. So in 1994, that is when I went to University of the North then. Now it's the University of Limpopo.
And people used to call it TEF.
Oh, yes.
Maybe you don't even know that name.
No, I know.
Oh,
I know.
Okay.
If I can call it University of the North, then I should know. The most interesting part there is that, I was the first girl actually to go to university.
From your village?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
Oh, yes. But I'm proud also now to say a lot of girls then followed in my footsteps after that. So I set the trend, and it's a good one. It's a good one.
And I know it might not be of interest to some, but I just want to find out, how far was that school where you used to walk to for kilometers?
Let's say about 15 kilometers.
Hey.
Let's say 15 kilometers. Daily, and it's not a path.
And if they say 8 o'clock in the morning, it's 8 o'clock in the morning.
It's rainy, it's sunny, it's hot, it's whatnot. You have to go to school. And it's a walk path, not a road where there are cars.
Yes.
It's like and
you have to walk in groups. If you're late, you might be stranded alone.
Yes.
Which might be dangerous.
Very dangerous. There's wild animals, there's all that you can think of. But we survived.
You mentioned something that you were the first, young lady to go to university from your village.
Yes.
What inspired that?
My father kept saying, my daughter, I'm the firstborn. And my siblings say I was daddy's girl. So he always said, I want you to go to university. I want you to go to university. You need to work hard, And I made sure that I don't disappoint him in the working hard part. So, and that's exactly what I did. Come 1993, always my friends will say, no, how you can't pass matric, first time, you need to do like twice, 3 times. And I went once and I got distinction at the time. Not distinction, what do we call it? Exemption.
Yeah, exemption.
Exemption,
yes.
yeah. To go to university.
Yeah, university entry.
Yeah. So
and then what did you study?
I went there, I was hoping to study nursing. I just loved the way the old nurses used to dress.
Just like
they
my mom, in white and what?
Nice.
Yeah.
They look so pretty.
In fact, do they still wear white these days?
Some of them. I see a few, yeah.
It used to be white, come to think of it.
And they looked amazing. Yeah. And I just wanted to look pretty, that's all.
Yeah. And sometimes they would have that...
the maroon
thing.
Tell me about it. Oh my God. And the stocking. Okay, that's what excited me.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
You just wanted to be a lady.
I just wanted to look pretty. That's
so what did you end up studying?
Because I got there and I could not qualify for nursing. And then I studied Bachelor of Information Studies and went on to actually do my honors degree in 1999.
By then, do you even understand what that is? In fact, what's that?
I have no idea. Information Studies.
What's that?
All I know is that...
was it IT?
Librarianship.
Okay. So
I have an honors degree in librarianship.
Oh, so you're supposed to be running libraries by that?
Yeah, I'm supposed to be a librarian.
Okay.
But some of my friends that studied the same course are now today, knowledge managers. They went on to do short courses on knowledge management. Others are information officers and all that. Simply because we don't have enough libraries in Limpopo.
Oh, so you qualified, but you didn't have a job.
Yeah.
And then what do you do next?
That's the reason why I went and I did my honors degree. I did my honors degree in 19...
Honors in what?
The same thing.
Same thing, but you still can't get a job.
I still can't get a job, but I had to keep myself busy. Yeah, but look, in 1999, while working on campus, I spotted a poster. Say, are you interested in film and TV production? Apply and whatnot. I was like, again, I'm not just a rebel, but I'm also very curious. And as a natural storyteller, I attempted to write a book, handwritten book and all that. So I was always fascinated.
But did you get that job or did you go study after seeing the poster?
Yes, I applied and I was called for an interview.
Where?
The institution here is here in Joburg.
Okay, so you had to leave Limpopo now and come.
Yeah, and come here.
Stay in Joburg.
Yeah, and then I applied. I was called for an interview. I went and then I got selected. The institution is called National Electronic Media Institute of South Africa.
Is that NEMISA?
That's
Sounds
NEMISA.
like NEMISA.
We were the first intake of NEMISA.
Okay.
We were the first intake of NEMISA in 2000.
And then you complete your studies again?
Yes. And that's how I joined the film industry.
And then do you then work for a production company? Do you start producing for yourself? What then happened?
My first job, believe you me, was at Generations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes. I was a trainee video editor.
Okay.
Then when
Can you edit videos?
I'm an editor. I edit my films as well.
Which software did you use then?
I'll tell you what I started with. The old analog, the linear editing, the machine to machine.
So you had to cut.
Oh yes, that wielding.
Yes. And you went.
I know. I started there.
I did all those things, but not video editing. But I did the music side. Video editing, I did Final Cut.
Oh my God! So you can relate.
Yeah, no. I've done all these things.
Yeah. Yes. So that's where I started. And then moved on to Avid. Final Cuts. Now I can do Adobe Premiere as well.
Avid.
Oh yes, Avid. That's why I started.
Higher than me now. You even do Avid, but you couldn't even afford to buy one. I'm sure it was at work only.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
And then after you then go.
Yeah, and then from there I did a whole lot of things. I mean, I worked for production companies. I started my first business in 2003. But you rise and fall, right? But then I kept just dusting myself.
So then, how do you get to a point where you say, now I'm going on my own? This is my company. This is my first film.
Even when I used to work for other companies, I always had my thing on the side because my first commission by SABC to do a documentary was in 2005. So that's when I was like, this thing is actually interesting. And, but I didn't know that ultimately that's what I would.
So you get commissioned when you still had a job?
Oh, yes.
How much did you get?
How much did I get? It was a 23
But it was enough.
minute. No, it was good money because I didn't know money then.
One episode,
One episode, yeah.
Okay.
One episode. It was one of those, it was Issues of Faith on SABC2. They'll commission independent
That's when
episodes.
they used to issue out RFQs and stuff?
Yes, that
Yes.
book.
Is it RFQ? What do they? RFP, no?
RFP.
Yes, I
RFP,
remember.
that thick book.
Yeah, that big
Yeah.
thing. And you have to search all through the pages.
Exactly.
Which show can I do?
Yes.
And you
yes.
find that you're like me, you want to do a music show, and there are sharks that are dominating that space. And you end up saying,
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
So, how many films have you produced so far?
I produced, some of the films that I produced was when I was working for other organizations. Like, for instance, I worked for Australian Broadcasting Corporation, Africa Bureau, for 5 years. So I produced documentaries on, like, for instance, former President Jacob Zuma. During the corruption trial, I traveled, around the world, basically.
So, there is interest for South African films or documentaries by outside production companies or channels.
Yes.
But then, if they need South African content, do you think they would ask you to do something very positive about this country?
Not at all. Not at all. And I'm saying I worked...
Because I've noticed there's a demand
Yes.
for South African stories. But each time I talk to people, I've never really found an authentic, real, positive story about South Africa. I know you guys want money. You are doing, you have to do your work.
Yes.
They ask you to do it. How does it sit with you knowing that you are put in a corner? You want to write your own stories, but they want you to say something about South Africa that you know is not that positive.
I think I understand that context very well because, when I was working for Australian Broadcasting Corporation, I know exactly what you're talking about. I remember in 2010, we were doing the post, World Cup stories for the Australian audience. And I kept pitching, like, the good stories, and they didn't want
Yeah,
it.
they're never interested
No.
in the good ones. That's why I'm asking you this question. I'm sure you never even expected me to ask such a question.
Yes, yes, it's very clear, especially like now. Now I've attended a lot of film festivals around the world, and we kept selling stories, that really painted, Africa in a good light.
It must be shocking about Africa for it to be accepted.
Yes, yes. But unfortunately, because, as filmmakers also we want to make it as, as award-winning filmmakers, in the international markets. We do that, right? We do that.
So the type of documentaries, you mentioned the former president. What was the documentary about?
It was about the corruption trial. It was about the rape case. It was during that time. Yeah.
And was it just one series or?
It was standalone.
Okay, standalone. Oh, you call it a standalone. It was a standalone. How long was the standalone? And, the processes of chasing the former president, or don't you talk to him, you talk to people? What do you do?
I will tell you. Because it was during the time of the rape trial.
Yes.
I remember, I was trying to go through the PA and at some point there was an event that he was attending in KZN in Newcastle, I remember. And I had to go there because, I'm the producer. I was told that you need to find this man. So I remember his bodyguards literally manhandling me and accusing me of the same things that I was trying to get out from him. So I found that very degrading. So that's just one of the things that I had to go through to be able to get him. But once we got him, we actually went to Nkandla. He allowed us to come to his home state, and we were able to
So
sit
he
down
finally
with him.
allowed you. But you saying something was degrading. What was degrading?
No, I mean, I was accused of, trying to...
Be another
Yeah,
person that
yeah.
acts like...
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not saying anything.
Yeah.
You keep on saying, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want to...
Stalker?
Stalker, call it stalker. I'm just trying to use a much more, subtle... Yeah, but
So you're trying to filter your words?
Yes, I was accused. I was accused of stalking the former president.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you coming with cameras, or you were just
No,
going...
I went there as I was still
With a
researching.
pen and a pad?
Yeah, I was still researching. So
Okay.
I didn't look like a producer. I
And you had to
guess.
be well dressed.
Yeah, I mean, that was the days when I was still
Hey,
looking
Elena.
awesome. I don't remember how I was dressed, but I surely,
You
didn't,
get
I
to
didn't
Uganda?
look the part that
Yeah.
I was a producer.
I hear you.
Yeah,
You had to look
Yeah.
scruffy in order to look like a producer.
yeah,
And when you prefer to be decent.
exactly.
And that sent a wrong message.
Yeah.
Eish.
Yeah, but I'm glad that finally, he trusted us, so we were able to go and
You get
go
to Nkandla now?
Yes, and
And
then we
then?
get to do a sit down interview with him. I remember that man is a charmer. Eh?
Yeah.
I remember
Great
calling me
one.
Ndombi, and I was like, "Ooh!" I was so happy. I was like, "Ooh!" Former president just called me Ndombi.
Yeah. And then you get there, you sit, and then what type of questions do you ask him?
My correspondent, I was the producer, so our correspondent from Australia is the one who was asking questions.
So you brought a white lady
Yes.
to come interview your black president.
Yes,
And you sit there.
yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Why don't they trust you with questions?
Well, that's the style that they used to apply. We used to have Australian correspondents to be the ones reporting.
But I'm sure you
So-
got a lot of money for hooking up the president to talk to an Australian woman.
Well, not quite.
Uh.
Yeah, not quite. I got a salary. Yeah,
It was okay.
yeah. I had a salary.
But now sitting here, would you say you were proud of?
I am.
And you
I
still
am.
are. And you can still do it again.
I can still do it again because it cooked me, I'm
Into what
able
you
to.
are now.
Exactly.
That's why now you can face the challenges of 6 queens and 6 kings.
I can do any story. I can do any story. I was telling my friend that because she's asking me, aren't you scared, to tackle such stories? My previous one before this one was a story about the corruption that is happening in my village with the water contracts. Contractors keep coming in the name of we're solving the water problem. But it's been now 30 years. And
Is there a
nothing
water
has
problem
happened
in your area?
proper. There's actually no source of water in my village. There's nothing,
Like currently?
like as we speak. But then when
But
you
did you
drive
do a
around the
documentary
village-
about that?
Oh yes. When
What
you
is it
drive,
called?
Hang Out Dry. When you drive around, there's all these steel tanks that you see.
Yeah.
There's taps of various generations. We had TLBs coming to drill, but then there's no source of water.
So there's no
Nothing.
source of water
Nothing.
in your area?
Those taps have been standing like that. In fact, this is the second generation of taps, and not even a single drop ever ran through those taps.
But then why do you keep attempting if there's no water?
It's not about attempting. The intention is not to solve the water problem. The intention is to keep on just dishing out money so that...
Please tell me about this documentary. Simplify it.
It's just basically when I started, Arthur. It was about, I thought the story was about, I was documenting the day-to-day struggles of the villagers. When I started, I was naive, And then as I document, because I documented it over 8 years, as I keep on, following the story, community meetings, there's a contractor in place, I follow characters. But then I realized that I'll follow a character for some years, and then jiggy jiggy, that character is now a politician. They now made a water committee member, or working with the councillor. Okay, I passed, identified another one, but the story is continuing. That other one, the same thing happens to him, and now I'm on the third. While I'm on the third, and I'm thinking, okay, now we're getting this right, because now the issue is now with the minister. The villagers found a way to report the issue to the minister. That's when it was Minister Senzo Mgunu. And then all of a sudden now this one is starting to ghost me. And then I started realizing the pattern. But then also what I've discovered through the documentation was that it was just the authorities using the water problem to dish out tenders that didn't have any intention of solving the water issue.
So where do we watch this kind of documentaries that you produce?
I have it. I own IP. I can make it available.
So there's no way?
I submitted it to SABC. It won awards, by the way. I traveled the world with it. It won international awards, one local award as well. But I can't get it on any platform to monetize to start with. I mean, I can throw it online and people can watch, but I'm still hoping that, some platform will get it and then be able to...
We're going to come back to that. Now you've got 6 kings, 6 queens, which from what I've seen on the trailer, I already find it controversial. You moved from one controversy to the other to the other.
But remember, I started way back.
Yes.
Way back.
So you've always wanted to test our minds, come with these intriguing stories, and test the authorities and the powers that be? Or are you on a mission to try and solve problems? What's your agenda?
I think having spent 8 years in the newsroom, my last job was at ENCA.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you doing at ENCA?
I was first a news gatherer.
So you gather the news and you create the content.
Yes.
And when you see that this content is here and it's not utilized, you start saying, I'm a filmmaker. Why can't I just create something out of it?
How did you know?
I can feel it. It's the energy.
That's exactly what happened.
Because I'm thinking, I've got these beautiful stories.
Yeah.
I worked in music studios.
Right.
And I produced people. And I got to a point where I said, but this is actually good for me. This and this one, no, I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
I call it quiet, or whether they like it or not, I'm going to do it and I'm going to release it.
Yeah.
And somebody out there might like it.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing. That's why you have this belief.
Yes. Because then I will bump into stories that I felt, I think this story really doesn't need a newsroom.
Yeah.
It's really, you need to dig deeper into the story to make it where it should be. And I found that a lot of stories really were not done justice to. And that is when I was like, okay, I think now I know where my niche is. I know what I need to do.
6 kings, 6 queens. It's talking about the Modjadji legacy. And there was another play called Modjadji, if I'm not mistaken.
Queen Modjadji.
Queen Modjadji.
Yeah.
Was it inspired by that? Or you just had to take a different angle altogether?
I'm very sure that Queen Modjadji, when it was first conceptualized as a concept, I was already
way ahead
shooting.
with yours.
I was already shooting it because it took me 11 years to make. I did my first interview.
Wait, were you part of Queen Modjadji?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were already shooting 6 kings and 6
I was shooting the
queens.
documentary film. Yeah. So I did my first interview in 2014 for the film.
Before you even talk about when you did whatever, what's Six Kings and Six Queens about?
It's about the Modjadji dynasty of Rain Queens. That's what the story was supposed to be. As a Mulovedu myself, I've seen a lot of content being created around the same issue. But I felt that as an insider, I will do justice to the story because, you know, I'm coming in. Some of the things about the Modjadji dynasty of Rain Queens is not things that I have to go research about because as a Mulovedu myself, I knew some of the practices, we practice them. Like, for instance,
Okay, complete.
We spoke about cousin marriages, that my mom and dad are cousins, and within the royal family, that cultural practice is being practiced. So I'm just citing this one because I felt like there are certain elements of the story that I would tell better because
Why
I
do you
know
say
better.
as an insider? How inside are you? Who are you?
I'm not a princess at all.
Okay. I nearly thought
I'm a Mulovedu.
I thought you were the next one.
I'm a Mulovedu. You know, that's how inside I am.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You are from the village?
So,
Same village?
Yeah. My village, Block 5.
But why is it about
Modjadji.
queens, you know?
I mean, you have to remember that the Modjadjis, the queens, are this is the only kingdom that is being ruled by women in Africa.
And here you come and you say 6 kings and 6 queens.
Because
hence I wanted a synopsis of the whole film.
Right. We're talking about a kingdom that is 400 years old. Before there were 6 kings, 6 queens that started in the 1800s. There were kings that started in the 1600s. This is after the kingdom moved from, at first they were in Mapungubwe, from Mapungubwe they went to Great Zimbabwe, and then when Great Zimbabwe now started splitting, and there was the north and the south, so Balobedu kingdom came from the south parts. You know, if you listen, if you read about the history, they will tell you about that we come from the Kalanga tribe. And I know that there are a lot of other ethnic groups that come from the Kalanga tribe. And now that validates what has always been spoken about, that we actually one people, but we were separated by borders, and which became what we are today. So at the end of the day, so there were six kings before there were 6 queens. And
you're talking about the Modjadji.
The Modjadji, yes, the Modjadji kings. There were 6 kings within the Modjadji kingdom.
So are you saying this thing about Modjadji queens and the rain has just been made up recently?
Not quite.
I mean, was there a king Modjadji rainmaker?
Yes. There were kings, rainmaking kings, before there were rainmaking queens. The last king, which is King Mugoto, is the one after there was a level of, I think he feared for his life. And I say I think because, you know, history is very
distorted at times.
Yeah, you don't know actually what the truth is because, you know, you read different things.
At times, though.
Yeah, well. Yeah, and, you know, he feared for his life. You know, he believed that his sons wanted to kill him.
Is he a Modjadji king or Mokoto?
The Modjadji started with the women, the first queen.
Okay.
The first queen that came in the 1800s. Yeah, so the last king was Mokoto, and then Mokoto is the one now that handed over the queenship to...
Why 6 kings and 6 queens? I'm trying to just navigate through that because I'm a bit lost.
Yeah, I mean, I had to title it 6 kings and 6 queens because of that, and because also of now the controversy or the battle that is currently underway within the royal house of wanting to go back to the kings. So when you watch my film, you will see that, I have a tagline called The Battle for the Seventh. Because right now there is a tug of war over the throne as to who must become the next ruler of the kingdom. The royal family wants the men to now take over because there was the six, they're done with the six now. They must now move on to the seventh.
So there was a point where it was 6 kings, and then from the 6 kings it went to the 6 queens.
Yes.
And then now they want to go back to kings.
They want to go back to kings, but,
But why did they even change to queens in the first place? Or there was no sign in one of the...
Yeah, as I
progressions?
said, the king felt threatened that his sons wanted to, kill him, or his life was in danger for some reason, and then he decided to hand over the throne to his daughter.
Oh.
Yeah,
And the daughter took over.
they took
And the sons accepted.
I don't know. I don't know if the sons accepted. When you watch Modjadji, Queen Modjadji, the fiction version, you'll realize that, if I'm not mistaken, because I really I didn't watch, and I'm not going to talk about why I did not watch the whole series.
You can tell us.
I was disappointed.
So Queen Modjadji,
The series, I was disappointed.
it's not telling your story.
It's not even about the story. It's about, as a Mlobedu, I felt I wasn't represented well.
What is that you would have loved to see?
I understand that it's fiction, it's work of fiction. I can't say, oh no, I don't think here it was accurate or not. But in terms of the delivery, the language for me was butchered badly. And I believe that I'm not the only one.
But don't you think as a filmmaker, you need to watch in order to assess and be able to correct?
Well, I did. I'm saying I did not complete the series. I did, but then...
You just got too much.
Yeah, and I'm not alone, eh?
Yeah.
I'm not alone. That's why I don't want to represent Malobedu, but I know of people who said...
But in your film, are you addressing that?
I am addressing it in a way because when you watch my film, and I'm not saying this because it's my film, but you hear the characters speaking the language, the way we speak. In my film, I talk to the wives of the queens, the real wives of the queens.
Wives of the queens?
Yes. 3 of them.
Of the queens?
Oh, yes.
So these queens don't have children?
They do. They do. In my film.
Wait.
I'll keep referring you to my film.
Okay. The queens have got wives?
Yes.
And they have kids?
They have children.
Sorry for being naive. How do...
Let's go back. Let's go back to what I spoke about earlier about cousin marriages. Before there were cousin marriages, there was father and daughter. That's when we read about the history of the kingdom. There was father and daughter relationship. But then they had to change that to cousins. Because again, there's issues of biology and science, when, according to what I'm told from the experts, they are saying they realized that there was a lot of risk in terms of the genetics and all that, when they started giving birth to kids by Longhore, had issues with there was a lot of risks involved when it was father and daughter. So that's when they moved to now cousins.
This story is too complicated. So who wants it to go back to the kings? And why are you stopping the I would call it the queendom. Legacy.
I mean, this is information that is in the public domain, that the reason why the royal family decided to move from queens to kings is because the princess was supposed to take over as the next ruler of the kingdom is not accessible. They claim or allege that she has been taken away from the palace.
In fact, I've seen another queen, I think. There's a young queen at the moment.
Yes.
Is she the one in charge at the moment? There was a young queen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I saw somewhere.
Yes, she is the one in charge.
Okay.
But the issue is still in...
How old is she?
She's 21.
And she's already a queen?
Yes, she's been recognized by the president.
As the queen?
Yes. But she's
How
ruling
many
from
people
here.
is she ruling?
But about 2.2 million people.
Wow. So
Yeah.
she's very powerful.
Yeah, but she's ruling from here in Midrand. She
Okay,
is-
I'll act ignorant and say, why not? Even though I know, yeah, but like one person is sitting there saying, why not?
I think it's...
So are you saying by right she's supposed to go back home and rule from home, ne?
I think that's what must happen.
Is that what the film is addressing?
My film doesn't really get to that level. It tackles the tug of war between the sister and brother.
At the moment?
And those who back them, those who are behind all this.
Who's backing who?
The royal family, through the royal council, is backing the prince. The princess, as we speak right now, stays with one Dr. Matula and his wife, the current defense minister.
My neighbors, I mean Midrand.
Oh yes, that's
So
why I get
we are
the-
somehow linked in Midrand.
Somewhere, somehow.
So
You
we've got
guys
the
know
royal
each
blood
other.
somewhere here.
Yeah. You have a palace, you didn't know. You have a palace here that's ruling a kingdom that is like about 400 kilometers away.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
So all these things are in your movie, your film, sorry.
Yeah. You get to see how the princess moved from the palace to wandering around the country as far as Northern Cape and now back in Midrand, and how the family has been trying to get hold of her so that she can come back home, according to what I have in my film. And it's not voiceover. These are interviews. These are, the royal family saying so that we've been trying for years through the courts to get the princess to come back home. And
So where is the story of the prince coming from then?
The prince come in because the family say in my film, we decided to now appoint the prince to be the king because we cannot get hold of the princess.
Is that allowed?
Which is the reason why the matter now is in courts, or
Is it in court?
I think at the moment they are still planning to take it back to court because it was in courts. But when the princess turned 18, because now the defendant was Dr. Matula Motseha representing a minor. When the princess turned 18, Matula Motseha now withdrew from the case to say he cannot represent her because she's now an adult. So an article came out last week saying the prince, the brother, is going to, because they're planning her coronation later this year. So the brother is planning to interdict the coronation.
Are these people blood brother and sister?
It's just the two of them.
Real brother and sister?
Blood sister and brother.
Do they talk to each other?
In my film also, you get to learn that there is no relationship between the two of them.
No. So, your film is controversial.
I'm actually giving away my... I'm actually giving everything up.
No, but I mean, either or, even if you were to give it away, we have to now go watch. We have to go watch and interrogate it. You might find that you're still going to sit in another platform like this and have to respond. Unfortunately.
Or,
It's your film.
or
I'm
maybe-
sure you did it knowingly that we're going to ask questions.
No, of course. But you know,
Unless if you're saying it's fiction, because you can't be afraid to speak the truth if it's the truth.
no, but I also tried as much as I can to balance the sides. It's not just one-sided. I do give the side of reasons why the princess was taken away.
Do you have a side that you sympathize with?
I'm not sure. Eh?
I think you have.
I'm not sure.
I think you have. Trust me, you have. You're not sure.
As a storyteller,
So you're just like me.
I'm conflicted, let me say.
You sound conflicted.
I am conflicted. If I wasn't the filmmaker, I would tell you what I think should happen.
Please tell me.
Okay, I publicly said this already, so I'll say this to you now. I strongly feel, as a Mlovedu, that's why I say I'm conflicted. As a Mlovedu, I always, took pride in the fact that, I come from a kingdom that's ruled by women in a society that is largely patriarchal. I mean, you see how we respect our queens and how we, like I said to you, even the men, big men, powerful men will kneel before a woman in this society. So I always took pride in the fact that, we're ruled by women. So, and now we are in a situation where we understand very much so that the royal family has been trying so hard to get hold of the princess. But they can't because there are court orders that barred them from accessing the princess. And when they decided to now put the men in charge, now to become the next king or the next ruler of the kingdom, I sympathize with that. But
Sympathize with?
with the fact that the
With the
family,
lady. With the queen.
not the queen.
Okay.
I sympathize with the fact that the family has tried so hard to try to get the queen or the princess back to the palace to come take over from her mother. But they couldn't. And now they had to appoint the brother. But what I think should happen is that the princess must come back home.
And this is a true South African story.
It's not even a
Not
story.
a King Arthur, King William, King... This is a true South African story.
It's not even a story. It's happening as we speak. As we speak, I talk about last week. Let me also tell you that this year, in our kingdom, we're not having initiation schools.
But you still call it a kingdom, right?
Yes.
Kingdom.
Yes.
With a queen.
Yes.
And-
Again, I think it's issues of semantics. It's issues of semantics because, even during the time when we were ruled by women, we still called it a kingdom until recently when the status of the kingdom was recognized. I'll take you back a little bit. In the 70s, the status of the kingdom was demoted or what do we call it in
Reconfigured.
English? Yeah, reconfigured. That's the word. Yeah, the queen then, that's Queen Makoma IV, was disposed of her powers.
Oh,
as
so
the
there's a
queen.
Makoma there. My sister's Makoma.
Oh, yes. That's why I told you that you guys are royalty. Yes.
Wow.
Queen Makoma IV
Okay.
was demoted. Let's call it demotion. She was demoted into a normal chief from, her status as the queen. And all that is in the film of how that happened. So, but recently, through Dr. Matule Motshekga's efforts, he made sure that the queenship, that status of the queenship on the same level as the Zulu kingdom, the Basotho kingdom and all that. So now the queenship of Balobedu is on that level.
I think I've seen that. Yes. I think I've seen it.
Yeah, that restoration happened in 2016. And when that happened, now we started hearing about the queendom. But it was never called that, even during the time when we had women ruling the kingdom.
Tell me, what are the, in modern world, where we still have to elect a president and we still have all the kings and queens, what's the importance of having kings and queens in modern day for somebody that's out there that doesn't understand this?
I think it's very important for us to keep our traditional leaderships. I'm not an expert, but, as a people, really, and we Africans,
I still feel the kings and queens are supposed to even be more superior.
I
might be wrong, but
no. As Africans, that's what's supposed to happen. But I mean, we know the history of the country. We know how, like for instance, I just spoke about how our kingdom was reconfigured. So unfortunately, we just reeling from that reconfiguration, and based on, we know our history very well on how the homelands became what they are and what we are today. So, but at the end of the day, I think for me, the most important leadership is that of traditional leadership.
What do we gain out of this movie?
I've had people, not just Balobedu, who watched the film, because I just came from Encounters International Documentary Film Festival. The last screening was just this past Sunday, on Saturday. So after the screening, we have Q&As, but after that we still have conversations beyond the screening. Balobedu, even people who are not Balobedu said, I've learned so much. I've learned so much from this film because there's just narratives that are being pushed out there. People understanding, the issues of wives, for instance, queen's wives differently. How the princess left the palace and why she can't go back and all that. So there is a narrative or narratives that are being pushed out there. And my film basically just in 90 minutes covers not just 11 years of what has been happening, because I also have archive of dating back to the 80s and the 90s as well.
Have you tried Netflix, Showmax? You're still going there?
I'm still going there. I hope you're able to.
Because for me, when I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, that's a gold mine. And it's something that can actually have different series, if you call them.
I think you should hook me up. You should hook me up.
I don't think this needs somebody to hook somebody up. It's just a good story. No, I'm being honest. It's just a South African beautiful story. I don't know beautiful, but like good story. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I can.
Because I'm addicted to I don't know what they call it. Is it a documentary channel? I watch this documentary channel.
History
channel.
Right, yeah.
And I get to learn about all other cultures, countries, and I religiously watch the thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, that's where you belong.
Yeah.
Your stuff has to be out there because you're telling another story about South Africa that even we South Africans don't know about.
Yeah.
And we are urging you, Netflix, to have a look at this, and you might be interested. I'm also interested. I don't think you need to do much. You just need to expose this film to people, and I'm sure. They will license it, borrow it, 2 years, we watch, you go, you know, you make your money. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's also just about money. It's storytelling.
I want the film to get out there to as a wider audience as possible, and local but international as well. Yeah.
So looking at the story, if you had to remove yourself as the producer and the storyteller, I asked you a question earlier on about who you sympathize with, and I didn't get a clear answer. But then my next question is going to be, what would you want to see as the ultimate goal?
I think
Or
the
result?
Queen, yeah, I think the queen should, the princess should go back home. And the brother becomes the regent, because the issue is that the queen, the princess hasn't been initiated into the queenship. Others say she can't even speak Kilobedu. So I believe that she should go back home and get initiated into her position as the queen, and the brother sits there as a regent. That's a normal standard practice.
What does a regent do?
A regent is a stand-in king or ruler. Yeah, it's someone like, for instance, their uncle Vakoma Mbabata Modjadji has been, a regent ever since their mother died in 2005.
What's the name of the current queen?
The current queen is Masalanabo Modjadji.
Is she the young one?
She's the one that has been recognized by President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Queen Masalanabo Modjadji. And the king, the brother?
The brother is Legukela Modjadji.
And you would love to see the result being the queen properly recognized and returning home.
She cannot rule from Midrand, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Did I say she cannot? She shouldn't.
Oh, she shouldn't.
She shouldn't rule us from Midrand. No.
Having researched and done this documentary, what have you learned about ruling as a king or a queen? Because you are saying they shouldn't, and in Midrand I always meet kings and in Scented, I meet them in Scented. So I'm asking you a question. What should they be doing?
As kings and queens?
Yes.
Are
you saying they shouldn't come to Joburg?
No, sure, please. They must travel so that, they can have a broader outlook of life. They must do that. So I'm basically saying, there are customs, us as Africans, that we practice. They are traditional. Like, for instance, in our kingdom, queens are not easily accessible. In fact, they shouldn't be seen out there, being paraded in public.
Queens?
Like, of course.
Wait, do they even get married to men?
No. Our queens don't get married. But they have wives and they also have children.
Okay.
And their children assume the surname Modjadji. And no one must question who the father is. No one. So, but now we're sitting with a situation where the former guardian of Princess Masalanabo parades her in public and also identifies who the father is.
Does she already have a child?
No, the father, Masalanabo's father.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, we already know now who the father is.
Yes. It's all in the film.
Yeah.
And,
your film when is hot.
In 90 minutes, you learn so much. You uncover so much. And I'm not saying it's accurate, but
it's story told by others.
It's from the horse's mouth.
Yes, it's a story told by others that are involved.
Yes.
But do you have the versions of the two main characters, I would say the siblings. Are they speaking there? Any clips, any public clips, anything?
Unfortunately, we never got like
Their
sit-down
sides
interviews.
with both
but
of
they're
them.
there. They are giving, like the prince also in the end, says something. And
The prince is there.
The prince is there, like current day. And then the princess is there. We covered her when they had a 18th birthday celebration in 2023.
And who attends a queen's birthday? At 18. Who was there? Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? Who was there? Tell us.
Because, when you watch, you realize that we have, this is a rainbow nation. I'm not trying to be racist or anything. But you see Indians there taking center stage at the 18th birthday celebration of Masarana.
How so? How do they take center stage?
Even giving a talk to show that, they're there, at the podium, giving a speech about the 18th birthday celebration of the princess.
But
saying,
wouldn't you also
worry.
look at it in another way, that the culture is growing? The Modjadjis are recognized by all other cultures. I don't know. You are just cultured, ne? You just want things to be like the way they do. Because I agree with you. You are from inside, like you said. You know how much you guys respect the queen, and you feel like certain things need to improve.
We understand that, culture evolves. We understand that. Okay. But it can we gradually just evolve? It can't be just, 360-degree turn overnight. It's a shock.
So tell me, if you are a queen or a king, let's talk about a king, and the palace is a bit boring, what do you do? And look at what happened in England. That's why I'm asking this question. What do you do?
It was easy. I understand, and hence I spoke about the evolution of culture. It was easy for Queen Mogobe V, who ruled until 2000, if I'm not mistaken, for 20 years. It was easy for her to live in seclusion. So we believed, until you watch my film, to live in seclusion. Until you watch my film, that you realize that Queen Magoma IV didn't live in the palace at some point.
Yeah, because, I can say to you, I'm not in Midrand. I'm there. Whereas the bodyguards took me out. So how are you going to know that? Because for as long as you can be there, I don't know if for your, do they call them subjects? For your people?
Yeah.
What do they call them? For your,
if
you are there, yes, if you are there for them and they see you when the opportunity arises or needs. So whether I'm in Midrand or whatever at night, how do you know?
Yeah, look, I just spoke about Queen Magoma IV, that at some point didn't live in the palace, but she was in a village.
So the issue here is that because you guys know that she's in Midrand.
Full time.
If she can change and say, I'm there, you'll be fine.
Full time in Midrand. And again, who is her advisor?
So your issue might be the advisor. And when I say you, not you specifically, I'm saying...
Some of us.
Yes, some of you.
Some of us have issues with the fact that her advisor is not from the royal family.
Have you tried to interview the advisor?
The first interview I did when I started filming Yes, I interviewed him, but it wasn't about the same matter.
And then did you attempt this time?
I did before the battle got heated. I did. And
What if you are seen to be taking sides?
not quite. I'm not taking sides.
So you would appreciate to be afforded that opportunity of hearing his story?
I would have, had I been given the opportunity to interview her. But like I said, when I reached out for an interview, after the first one I did in 2014, when I reached out to do another interview, before, like I said, the argument got heated, and it was, my request was declined.
Do they know
That
about
was
your
it.
film?
Oh, yes.
And
Because, like, for instance, when I sent an anonymous crew to go film the 18th birthday celebration, when they were discovered that they come from Molatelo Media Group, they were threatened.
And we didn't even talk about it's
Molatelo Media Group.
Bataba Media
Molatelo,
Group.
Yes.
So you did announce that you'll be sending a crew, or you didn't? They
No,
just
no,
know
no.
that you are this
I'm a
controversial.
journalist.
Yes.
I'm a journalist.
So when they discovered, did they check them out?
Yeah, they threatened to kick them out.
They threatened,
But I
they
made
didn't
sure,
kick them
before
out.
they went there, I made sure that we have in writing permission to film.
So you did get permission.
We did get permission from, there are parallel royal councils running. There's Modjadji Royal Council, in Kitagoni, the Royal Kraal, and there's Balobedu Royal Council that's running alongside.
They attended as well. Or
The
they just gave you
Balobedu.
permission, but they stood back.
Balobedu Royal Council attended, and they're the ones that gave me permission. And I
Oh,
told them,
So you were covered.
yeah, I told them that I know that I'm not allowed to film the birthday celebration, but they wanted me to film. Said, okay, fine. You give me in writing that I am allowed to film. But I also already told them about the relationship that I had at the time with Dr. Molatelo Bossman not wanting me to do interviews with him. I had already told them, no. You are a Molobedu, you must document our history and end. I'm like, cool. Give me in writing that, just confirm in writing that I'm allowed to cover the 18th birthday celebration. And they did. So I hired a crew, but I made sure that I don't hire or send the crew that I was working with at the time. And I made sure that they don't brand themselves as Molatelo Media Group crew. So they went there, you know, they got access because they were welcomed by the same people who invited us. But in the middle of the filming, what the party's going on, then Dr. Molatelo Bossman asked who they are, or they were, and they were, yeah, of course, they introduced themselves as coming from Molatelo Media Group. And yeah, they were threatened to be kicked out. And then I called the council. I said, what did I say?
We are being checked out.
Yeah. But they had to continue filming. Because I told them, Mike, I want you. And you said I should carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might as well make sure that my crew covers the whole, even did interviews. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Molatelo Media Group presents 6 Kings, 6 Queens. That's your dream, Nje. Watching it on Netflix, Showmax, and all other broadcasters. Yay! Have you tried SABC as well?
SABC, I pitched, I repitched.
But do you submit the full film?
Yeah, I was called to come and pitch. I pitched, and then I was called. I was told to go. You understand?
I just don't think you're meeting the right people. There's no way. There's just no way. You know that. There's content there. Good content for that matter. Regardless of which side you're picking. that's good content.
You understand,
Unless
so.
if you unprofessionally shot it. Even if it's unprofessionally shot. If I'm able to watch TikTok, then the content that you're talking about should be great content. Something is wrong.
Something is definitely wrong.
Tell us about it.
Something is wrong at the SABC.
Tell us about it.
And this one, you can put it on, I don't have a problem.
Yes.
Something is definitely
But
wrong
say
at
it.
the SABC. There's a lot of gatekeeping going on there. There's a lot of gatekeeping and it's not funny. I submitted my proposal already years in the making. You know, there's proof of concept is there. I'm called to come and pitch. I go and pitch. There is my former classmate on the panel. And we had issues back in the years. When the results of the pitch came, I was told, you understand film, right? I was told first, appoint a technical director. I still have the letter. Appoint a technical director, get a content producer on board. This is a once-off documentary film. Tell me those two things. Technical director on a documentary film, content producer on a once-off documentary film. What are they doing in my film?
With content, I would understand a bit, but it depends on what would they be doing. But then the technical, what would the technical be doing?
At the time already, I was an international award-winning filmmaker. I'm the producer, I'm the director of the film.
Yeah, but I'm curious to know what is the technical director supposed to be doing there?
Now you understand why I say gatekeeping.
No, but maybe a technical director, okay. Define what a technical director does in such a documentary.
My question exactly.
Okay.
What are they coming to do? Because a
No, maybe
technical
they have a
director is one that directs multi-camera, studio productions. What is a
That's
technical
why
director
I'm asking.
doing in my film?
Yeah, but maybe they want to do it in another way that
This
you
is
don't.
my film.
Sit down,
I'm
negotiate.
licensing. I'm not asking for a commission. I'm asking for a pre-license.
No, I do license stuff. That's why I know.
You know
I
what
produce
I
mine.
mean.
I, you know.
Right. So I'm then asked to come and repitch when I have these people on board and address the other issues as well. The other issues I understood. But this one, I had an issue with to say, why are you asking me to appoint a technical director and a content producer? Because for me, I didn't need a content producer either.
Have you addressed it with the CEO of the SABC?
Not CEO. I then went to the immediate boss.
You know there's a new CEO?
I know. But that was in
She's a lady?
Yes, that was in 2021, 22, around there. That was it. So I raised the matter.
You
with
are
the
aware
immediate-
SABC is a public broadcaster, right?
Very much aware.
Okay. Because
I'll
you're a
tell you
journalist,
what.
you're supposed to.
I'll tell you what, and I'm not scared of saying this. I'm not scared of saying this because I've reached a point where I say I've made peace with the fact that I can never do business with the SABC, because for as long things are still the way they are, unless the new CEO stands up and say all this must stop.
The thing is, we have a tendency, and I'm one of those that are like you, that get hurtful.
Yes.
And we start painting everybody with the same brush. But sometimes we need to take a different approach. We need to attempt to address, more especially in writing, so that there is a trace.
I did.
Because that might just be your next documentary,
I did.
addressing those problems. Because you are not alone. We are too many.
Yeah.
Remember, we are too many.
Yeah.
You're not alone. You think you're alone because you are sitting in your little corner there at Bulubataba Media Group thinking, I'm the only one that might be going through that.
Yeah.
Trust me, you're not alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that might just be your next documentary.
Maybe should. But I feel
Okay, let's just play a
Disney.
game here so that at least you come down. Chiefs or Pirates?
Chiefs,
King or Queen?
Queen.
Mapiano or Kwaito?
I'm conflicted.
Bolobedi or Midrand?
Ulobedu.
Why?
That's what the kingdom is. That's what the real people are.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Miss or Mrs. Bossman.
Mrs. Bossman.
For Mrs. Bossman.
Yay!
I'm sure you can say your last words if you want to.
Yeah, not quite. I'm
You're
good.
happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I think the clapping is good.
Okay, let's do it one more time. Ladies and gentlemen.